All right, you guys, so I'm gonna show you 4 basic ways to get over this log. So I've got a half a log cut up here. It's kind of like a speed bump. So if you're new to Enduro, you've never hit a log, I'm gonna give you the tools to get started so that you guys can progress later on to something big. So once you master these 4 steps, you're ready to move on. It's all about dialing in the clutch and throttle skills before you move to a bigger obstacle. So we're building steps as we go, you guys. So step 1, you're actually gonna come at this log with momentum. And as your front tire hits the log, you're going to pull the clutch in and coast over the log with just momentum. So this is step 1, and I will demo this for you guys. During that drill, we wanna make sure we have enough momentum, speed. So we want to have steady throttle coming all the way through. We don't wanna be blipping it at all. Steady throttle. As your front wheel hits that log, you want to pull that clutch in and drive over the log with just momentum. And this helps us in building the clutch and throttle skills step by step. So step 2, you guys, we're going to use our suspension. As you approach the log, when you're about a foot out, you're actually going to drive all your way through the pegs, compress your forks. As they come back up, you're going to give it that tiny blip of gas. That's going to drive that front wheel up and over the log. We're not going to use our clutch in this drill. We'll proceed to add skills as we go, but step 2, just your gas and compression. So for step 2, you guys, all we added was suspension, compressing our suspension, and a little bit of throttle. So step 3, we're gonna move on to adding in the clutch work. So when you're about a foot out, you're gonna go compress those forks and give it that bit of gas. This time you're gonna add in the clutch. So as you're approaching that log, when you go to compress, you're actually gonna pull that clutch in for a split second. And this time, when you go to give it a bit of gas, you're gonna slip that clutch out. And you're gonna get a little bit more air time using your clutch. So you guys notice the difference in height on that using the clutch? So I'm still coming in with the same amount of speed, this time just adding that little clutch release, and I'm gonna get way more air time. And as you build these skills, you're gonna need those when you start doing the bigger logs. So that's why we're building up to it slowly. So for step 4, you guys, we're gonna make it a little more fun. We're actually gonna come in much slower, and we're going to add our rear brake into this. So everything that you've learned will remain the same, your clutch work, your compression. All we're gonna do is slow it down, kind of utilize our static balance drills a bit, apply that rear brake as you compress. When you come back up, you're gonna let off your rear brake, slip the clutch with the throttle, okay? So you're actually gonna get even more height on a controlled slow speed coming into these, which will transfer over to the bigger logs that you eventually do. Recap, you guys. Step 1, momentum. You're gonna have that clutch in as the wheels glide over the log. Step 2, throttle, compression. Step 3, throttle, compression, clutch release. Step 4, we're gonna get fancy and add in those brakes. So brake, compression, throttle, clutch control. So the importance behind just doing a step-by-step is kind of getting a feel for the control of your bike. You don't want to obviously start off on a big log, so build those skills. Dial in the feel, dial in the timing of the clutch and throttle control, add in the compression, start using those brakes a little more when you're hopping logs, and then you guys will be ready for the next step.